Welcome. Welcome to day 15 of 30 of our 30 Sets in 30 Days Meditation for Recovery course, as presented by the Wise Friends Network. You're officially at the halfway mark. Well, by the end of this meditation, you'll be at the halfway mark, I suppose is a better way to say that. For this workshop of 30 Sits in 30 Days for meditation for recovery, recovery from drugs, alcohol, harmful behaviors, process addictions, all are welcome here. And as always, thank you for your interest in a Buddhist meditation practice and its applications for recovery. As we go along through this workshop, the meditations do get a little bit longer um, as we help you expand your practice and give you that foundational support that you'll need for successful continual growth. And that these 30 sits in 30 days are intended to help you create a foundation for your practice and figure out what works for you, what works best for you with your with a traditional Buddhist approach of the insight practices and the heart practices. And for today, we're going to go back to insight practice. We did a heart practice yesterday. So we're going to do a noting technique and kind of start to fringe into the third foundation of mindfulness of the mind, mindfulness of thoughts, mindfulness of storytelling mind, all that fun stuff. But today we'll probably go for anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes. In a traditional Buddhist practice, you should not be gamifying your meditation practice. But we here uh, at the Wise Friends Network believe in aspirational goals, self-improvement, self-actualization. So if you don't feel like you're ready for a longer sit, that's fine. You can feel free to go back to one of the earlier meditations in the course and do that for your sit for day 15. But I do encourage you to, if you're going to get wet, you might as well go swimming. So, yeah, slightly longer sit, slightly longer durations of silence. In my opinion, this is where things start to get good. These are the meditations where we start to quiet our minds and see things as they are, and start to see the real benefits of meditation for the second half of the course here. So, but we all progress at our own pace. We all progress. We find our own paths in recovery and in meditation. So, thank you for being here. And without further ado, away we go. Let's take a moment to just relax into present time experience, taking 2 deep breaths. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And now we'll just allow our breathing to be natural, as we have been throughout this course. And let's just jump into the deep end. We'll spend the next 3 minutes in silence, focusing our breath. Yeah, you know what to do. As we breathe in, we're ever mindful of breathing in. As we breathe in, we're ever mindful of breathing out. You can allow your concentration to be on your breath, your body, feeling tone, sound. You can either do a focus meditation or an open mind awareness. But for the next 3 minutes, we'll just be present right here, right now, appreciating what is sometimes referred to as noble silence. Now, for today's practice, as you find your mind wandering from time to time, as it naturally will, it's always good to emphasize for those in recovery that should you find your mind wandering, doesn't mean that you can't meditate or you're doing anything wrong. The thinking mind will think. That's its nature. It's also important to understand that we are not our thoughts. And often, for those of us in recovery, we have habitual, negative, abusive, ruminating thoughts. And that at times it's a great benefit of the practice to learn this quieting of the mind. But not just quieting the mind, but to start to see thoughts, as an objective observer. Start to see if you can observe your thoughts, like clouds in the sky or leaves on the stream, just passing by without getting caught in them, without getting trapped in them, and without attachment or clinging, letting them pass by. If you'd like, you can also add a subtle noting quality to this practice as you notice your concentrations drifted from mindfulness of the breath or body, and you find yourself lost in thoughts or fantasies, you can make a little note. Thinking, thinking. Something subtle, nothing too dramatic. And then just bring your attention back to breath and body or general awareness. And it's this process of what is referred to as noting. Simply note it, acknowledge it, and move on. Returning to your point of focus or awareness. We'll spend the next 3 minutes in silence practicing. You got this. And as we begin to explore in more depth these longer silent sits, it's good to reflect on what's it feel like to be the observer, the objective observer of thoughts, feelings, sensations. Because what we're learning here is to widen the window of reactivity, and learn how to respond more wisely rather than to react mindlessly to our addictive behaviors. It's through this practice that we begin to see thoughts for thoughts, feelings for feelings, and sensations for sensations. It is what it is. There's no need to cling or be attached, no need to be aversive, just to open ourselves to a radical acceptance of this moment right here, right now. To bring what Jack Cornfield or Ram Dass would may refer to as to being the loving awareness, to be the loving awareness and to bear witness to this human experience, this consciousness. We are not our thoughts, we are not our feelings, and we can choose to live more wisely in our lives and in our recovery. So, for this last minute or so of the meditation, I encourage you to begin again. If your mind has been wandering, if it's been restless, if you've become frustrated, that's perfectly fine, perfectly normal. That's why we call it a practice. It's a process, something we always continually return to. So, for this last minute, just bring a friendliness and kindness to it as we spend one last minute just observing our thoughts, our feelings, our mind as the objective observer or the loving awareness that is.